Displayed on the screen is the AI4Good Squared Governance Framework, a structured, end-to-end model designed to ensure that AI solutions move from concept to real-world impact with accountability, security, and ethical alignment at every step. This is not just a process diagram. It represents how AI4Good Squared develops, validates, and deploys AI applications, either within the AI4ROI Cloud or on-premise environments, while maintaining institutional-grade governance and trust. It is important to note from the outset. This full governance framework is managed by AI4Good Squared, not placed on students. Students engage with structured portions of this process as part of their learning experience, but the responsibility for governance, security, and deployment remains with the platform and its oversight structure. We begin on the left with requirements. At this stage, AI4Good Squared works with sponsors and community partners to clearly define needs, not only in technical terms, but in terms of real-world outcomes. These requirements are aligned with university learning objectives so that student work contributes meaningfully without being burdened by full system responsibility. Ethical considerations are introduced early. The platform evaluates whether a use case is appropriate, beneficial, and aligned with responsible AI principles. Data classification and initial risk assessments are also conducted at this stage. This is the first control point, where scope, intent, and risk are reviewed and approved by AI4Good Squared before any student work begins. Next is the project phase. This is where students engage directly. They work in teams using structured templates, guided tools, and clearly defined project scopes. Their focus is on learning objectives, developing AI artifacts, exploring problem-solving approaches, and building practical skills. Students are introduced to concepts such as ethical AI, data awareness, and responsible design, but they are not expected to independently manage governance or security frameworks. Behind the scenes, AI4Good Squared ensures that all project structures align with best practices and platform standards. This allows students to operate in a realistic environment while remaining appropriately scoped for educational success. A control point at this stage ensures that project plans are sound and aligned before progressing. We then move into review. Here, faculty provide academic oversight, ensuring that student work meets educational standards and learning outcomes. At the same time, AI4Good Squared applies additional review layers where needed, particularly for projects that show potential for further development. Ethical considerations, feasibility, and alignment with intended outcomes are evaluated at this stage. Importantly, this is where student work is assessed for quality and potential, not yet for full deployment readiness. A control point ensures that only strong, appropriate work moves forward for deeper evaluation. Next is validation. This stage is handled primarily by AI4Good Squared. Projects that demonstrate strong potential are further developed, tested, and evaluated beyond the student's scope, unless the student is offered and accepts a paid fellowship. This includes technical validation, performance evaluation, and, where applicable, model assessment. Security considerations, reliability, and documentation are addressed here. Students benefit by seeing how real-world validation occurs, but they are not responsible for executing this full process. Instead, they gain exposure to professional standards and practices. This stage ensures that any solution moving forward meets real-world expectations for quality and trust. We then move to the deployment gate. This is the final readiness assessment before real-world use. AI4Good Squared reviews deployment plans, defines monitoring strategies, and evaluates community readiness. This includes ensuring that solutions are appropriate for the environment in which they will be used, and that they can be sustained over time. This stage represents institutional accountability. Deployment decisions are made carefully, with full consideration of ethical, technical, and operational factors. Students are not responsible for deployment decisions, but they gain valuable insight into how real-world AI systems are responsibly introduced. On the far right, we see the outcome: real-world impact. This is where AI4Good Squared delivers on its mission. Solutions are deployed in environments where they can improve lives, strengthen organizations, and create measurable value. For students, this represents something powerful. Their learning contributes to real-world outcomes, even though they are not carrying the full burden of deployment responsibility. For universities, this demonstrates education that extends beyond the classroom. For sponsors, it provides measurable, accountable results. And for communities, It delivers practical tools that support real economic opportunity. Across all stages, there are cross-cutting controls integrated throughout the framework. Ethical AI principles guide every step, ensuring fairness, transparency, and accountability. Security and privacy are built into the platform by design, protecting data and reducing risk. Best practices and standards ensure that all work, student and platform-driven, is consistent and high quality. The framework also emphasizes reuse and continuous improvement. Lessons learned, reusable assets, and validated approaches are captured and carried forward. Each cohort builds on previous work, increasing efficiency and impact over time. And importantly, the platform maintains a state-of-the-art AI capability layer. AI4Good Squared continuously tracks new large language models, emerging tools, and advancements in AI. This ensures that students are learning with current technologies, and that deployed solutions remain relevant and effective.